In the record, though, one of the things that I read that you'd said, Lars, was that fact that you guys, like, you know, when you're just intense about the things you do in the studio, you guys fight, you know, you fight over certain things, you know, that are important to you in the studio, and you guys know each other and work together for such a long time that it's an easier, it's like, you know, it just seems like it's a more you know,
easier to argue now.
Do you know what I'm doing?
I think we still argue, but we don't take as long. We figured it out.
And we kind of like use Bob a lot. Bob's a really good mediator.
Yeah.
Bob's really, I think the greatest thing is both me and James trust him like 100%. So it's like if me and James are butting heads over something, then Bob kind of sits there and just goes with what's best. And that's a pretty cool situation to have.
He's just really easy, especially for myself, to work with vocally, and help me get to some places I wanted to get to.
That's exactly it. He's real good at like making you comfortable and capturing the performance once that is in place. You know, he gives you certain confidence and things like that. It's very cool in that way.
What happened was we kind of developed a friendship. And when we finished the Black album, I didn't think we were ever going to work with him again because it was like the hardest record to make.
In what ways would you say?
Just about where everybody's heads were at the time, and I think what everybody's perception of what Metallica could be or should be. We had kind of, it was almost like sort of phase one was coming to an end, and we knew we wanted to take it somewhere else. We were writing some different songs, and we're bringing in this other guy, and he had his whole thing that he was bringing into it, and it kind of just, it was just really ugly and really difficult. And then a couple of years later, when we sort of sat down and talked about we wanted to work with him again, in the meantime, we had kind of become friends. He'd come out on the road and say hello and blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of pretty cool, but it wasn't a given, you know what I mean? But now I think it's a given. It's not even something we talk about. It's just something like, you know, okay, we're making a record called Bob, you know, tell him to be here on Thursday or whatever.
This record was different than the other ones because we knew what we were coming into. We were already familiar with the songs. Songs were already rehearsed together and everything like that, already memorized. Most of the legwork was already done. The pre-production, all that was already out of the way. So we came in with a different headset. He had already been working on the songs for as long as we had, you know, for a couple of years or whatever. So everybody was in the same boat. Once we got to it, I was able to apply it pretty quickly, and then he was able to capture everything. Everybody was, like Lars was saying, the Black Album was so far, everybody was kind of askew, you know. On this one, everybody really had the same idea. We knew where we wanted to go with the songs. Everybody had it memorized. It was there, you know.
What do you like contemporary?
Nothing.
Jerry Cantrell's new album.
I actually like the Portishead album. I think that's a great album.
Portishead?
Portishead and Radiohead. I like the heads.
Now Kirk will talk to you for 5 minutes about the Radiohead album.
No, I'll talk to you for 5 minutes about the Portishead album.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Well, last week it was Radiohead.
I almost kind of like that, so that's,
Gotta check it out.
How about you, Jason? Anything new that you've watched recently?
New?
Over the last couple of years?
Pretty tough. Last couple of years, Rage Against the Machine is still pretty tough, I think. As far as heavy stuff, Voivod's still okay. Fear Factory is okay still, as long as they're kicking. It's too bad that a lot of the bands that were really doing good and just seeming to get to their peak had to split up, Sepultura and Caius and that kind of thing. You know, that was always the cool stuff. So I heard Caius might be back together, so that'd be good. I really would like something to come out to knock my head in a little bit. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Sepultura thing, it's a shame.
I like the new Deftones album.
That's cool.
There's some great stuff on that, Around the Fur.
They kick ass.
The best hard rock thing that's come out this fall is AC/DC Box.
Well, because it's all I love about Scott stuff.
Yeah. Playing basically all of High Voltage and Let There Be Rock live.
Yeah.
It's really...
Let There Be Rock was just a great sounding, gritty albums. all 8 of those songs. It's like brilliant. You hear it turn on, you just hear that, like, you hear the amp.
Yeah, dude.
Right away.
Exactly.
I was talking to Angus Young one day. He was telling me that when his older brother, you know, was in the Easy Beats when he was producing the record. He said the amp caught on fire when they were doing "Let There Be Rock" the song. And he said, and his brother said, "Keep playing, keep playing."
We wrote 27 songs in one stretch, and basically Load was supposed to be a double album. That's what we went into the studio to develop, a double album. And then about 6 months later, Peter and Cliff came out to, our managers came out to San Francisco and said, you know, we got a chance to play Lollapalooza, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, well, instead of trying to finish these 27 songs, why don't we just put a record out for Lollapalooza and go out and play Lollapalooza and do some touring of our own and then come back and finish the other 13. That was pretty much it in a nutshell.
Reload are not remixes, they're not leftover stuff, they're not B-sides, they're the rest of the songs, the songs that we didn't finish. And I think they're the more extreme, you know, and heavier and stripped down ways, different ways, because, you know, when you first get in the studio, you go with the kind of easier ones or to kind of break into the studio. So we got, you know, the first 14 done, and these are the kind of more intense and a little more difficult ones, you know, we had saved for the end. So that's, you know, where these come into play now.
Choose your fate and die. And die. And die. Die. Choose your fate and die.
Fill up. I mean, this should be cool. You obviously, there's fans probably.
You know what, Philly? It's kind of what I've been trying to say to people is that, you know, I'm not just saying this because it's Philly, but Philly has been incredible to us over the years. We've had some really amazing shows there. And the 2 shows that we played indoors in March of last year, or this year actually, still this year, right?
It is still this year right now.
They were among, I'd say, probably the best half dozen shows of the tour. Really amazing. Because what happens down in Philly, you also get a lot of people come down from Jersey and stuff, as you would know. And I mean, this is it, man. This is like, you know,
this is Metallica country.
Yeah, it is.
Philadelphia is Metallica country.
We're sort of, you know, suburban New Jersey and stuff like that. That's, you know, we're people that can kind of hang with what we do. Play Enter Sandman. How's it going? Down, 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 down. That one. Cool. Oh, that's gonna be a hit.
Hey, check out my new riff.
It's gonna be huge.
Hey, covers still go crazy. That's something I always wanted to ask you guys. That's one of my favorite records, Sheer Heart Attack. I love that
Great album.
Cardiac.
I'm going through a Queen renaissance right now, listening to almost nothing but Queen.
What else do you like? Obviously, the
What?
Queen thing.
Bad way. Then or now?
Then. We're talking about then. Like,
I saw Thin Lizzy in 1978 for the Live and Dangerous tour.
It's a great album, and Better Reputation was right.
Tremendous album, tremendous tour. I mean, it was monumental for me as a little kid. I was even before I first started playing guitar. I listened to a lot of Purple, a lot of Sabbath, a lot of Zeppelin, Thin Lizzy, Aerosmith, UFO. There weren't any American bands at the time that had a sound like UFO, and it was something completely and totally different. And I loved them for that. And then when the new wave of British heavy metal started rearing its head on the West Coast in various different forms, I took a liking to it because it was similar to to the approach that UFO were taking musically.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we had Boys Are Back in Town, kind of our intro song on one tour. The Boys Are Back in Town. It's like, yeah, fast.
Put a lot of covers of cowboy songs. A lot of people been doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Super Suckers. Years ago material. I love Lizzie too. Those records are killing.
The Super Suckers jammed on Cowboy song?
Yeah, the Supers, they do Cowboy song live.
Really? Wow, that's kind of cool.
It is.
I am just a cowboy. On the trail. High part.
Lord, I just think about it.
Female. Woo! The time we spent together. Riding on the bridge or something like that.
Looking
All the southern girls seem the same. The old boy turned me around. Let me keep spinning till I hit the ground. Roll me over and let me go. Running in the rodeo. Here I go.
That's such a great lead there. Who was that, Scott Gorham or Robertson who played that lead?
Robertson, probably.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good, man. You should play guitar in the band.
Yeah, I think
We shift Australia, company we keep, roaming around while you shake shit, no through the wind, shake shit, beating on bed, who swear, oxygen's clean, scared, back to the beginning of life.
video for The Memory Remains and the making of that video.
How's it go?
Memory remains.
It's too fast. Lay it back more.
So you gotta feel it.
You gotta lay it back a
Lay
little.
it back more.
Now this, you have a young director who did this video. Let's talk about the concept. It's really unique actually. He came up with this thing that was a kind of an old, something they used to go see at expeditions in like 1914 or
it's
something.
an illusion that they used to use
Coney Island.
at Coney Island.
Turn of the century.
Turn of the century. It was an illusion. I said that already. And what it was is basically people went onto a little platform, and the room would revolve around the platform. But the illusion was that you were spinning. The actual platform was spinning like this in the room, but the room would be the thing that would be spinning.
Right.
And
we used to get sick all the time from it, right?
yeah, it's just part of the illusion, I guess.
The video was pretty cool. We had to take Dramamine and everything. I knew it was going to be pretty trippy. I kept warning Lars, hey, you better take some Dramamine. He didn't want to have any of it. And then he got up on there and didn't know if he could handle it. The room started spinning, and we were suspended on this sled, and the room was spinning around us like this 15,000-pound room on an axle spinning.
Axel?
Axle was in it, and yeah, spinning. It's like a giant dryer, hair dryer.
It was like being in a giant dryer, clothes dryer.
And you have to actually, you feel yourself moving, right? Because you have your belts and stuff.
Well, your equilibrium.
Kind of fudge.
Yeah,
your,
exactly.
Your equilibrium gets all thrown off. You don't know what left, right, up and down is, north or south. You just
Even
don't,
more.
You just don't know. Yeah, even more
Don't
than
know where
usual.
you are. Anyway.
Yeah. Usually we don't feel like that until about 1 or 2 in the morning, but this is all day.
Yeah, we were on this thing for 2 days for 8 hours, and it was
More than that.
crazy. Yeah.
And you actually had to lip sync do the lyrics and sing. And
I wore
play.
shades in the whole video, so I had my eyes closed so I wasn't getting sick all the time.
Yeah, that's a good
But we
idea.
had C bands on, the bands that pressure points to make you, so it helps against motion sickness. At one point, everything was nailed down in this room, and tables and everything. So when it was spun, and it would come crashing on there.
We were nailed down.
Yeah, actually on tethers. So because if you fell off the little sled into the room, you'd just be tumbling around like some underwear in a dryer.
Yeah. like
Calvin.
Like
The whole concept is Marianne is in it, and she's kind of taking us on this fame ride, you know, like this really, you know, mind fuck, you know,
Yeah.
in a way, inside this box. So she's spinning us, and it's pretty trippy.
Let's check it out right now. Here it is, Metallica's The Memory Remains.
Slow down.
Amazing performance, great interview. Metallica's on the bus right now. I'm jumping on and we're out of here. Anyway, for MattRock, I'm Matt Pinfield. I'll see you next time.